Hello, fellow library lover, and welcome to another webinar in which we'll discuss an online database in detail. Today we'll be discussing Novelist K-8 Plus. Hi, my name is Stuart Schaefer, and I'm the head of the reference department at the Farmingdale Public Library. My contact information is shown on the screen that you're looking at. My phone number, when we return to the library, is 249-9090, extension 203. My email address is fdaleref@nassaulibrary.org. The library's website is located at farmingdalelibrary.org. Now, to access Novelist K-8 Plus, you will need your library card. On the back of the library card is a 14-digit number. You're going to need to enter that to access the database. So what exactly is Novelist Plus? You'll see my notes on the screen. But basically, Novelist Plus is a grade school fiction and nonfiction reader's advisory service. It has reviews and it'll suggest what you or your student needs or your child should be reading next if they like a particular book. I'm going to show you a little about some basic ways to search in terms of keywords, titles, authors, and genres. We're going to basically look for Readalikes, and I'm going to talk to you about what an entry looks like so you'll be able to get more out of it. Without further ado, I'd like to share my screen, and I'm going to do that right now. And you should see the Farmingdale Library webpage right now. It's at farmingdalelibrary.org, and to get to this resource, we're going to click on research, and then by subject, I'm going to scroll down under literature. I clicked on that link, and the literature page came up, and I'm scrolling down somewhat slowly. Here's Novelist Plus. I just highlighted it, but there's Novelist Plus K-8. And our little blurb over here says that it's a grade school fiction and nonfiction reader's advisory service with reviews and what to read next. Basically, I copied that and I just read it to you both times. So I'm going to click on the link, and I need to put in my library card number. I type that in, and we are at the Novelist K-8 Plus home screen. There's a lot happening here, so I'm going to go through it somewhat slowly, and we're going to cover most of it. At the top of the page, we have a search box where you can search for authors or titles using a keyword or a title or an author or a series. And in this case, I'm going to do a search for an author, Lucy Cousins. And you can see that autofill is kicking in. I typed in Lucy C-O-U, and it came up with Lucy Cousins or Lucy Courtney. I'm going to pick the first one, and then I'm going to click search. And this gives me a lot of information about the author. Her name. Most of the books that she writes about or writes they're for students between the ages of 0 and 8 years old. They're nonfiction. Remember, nonfiction is a combination of, well, nonfiction is the real stuff. Fiction is the made up stuff. Think of mysteries, science fiction, kids' books about Maisie, for example. So the genre is picture books for children. I just highlighted it. And they are big and bold. I just highlighted the illustration section. This is a permanent link to this particular page that we're looking at if you needed to come back to it. So there are 3 little filters over here. There's one for books, series, and more about this author. We're in the books filter, and we are looking at a lot of books, many of the books by Lucy Cousins. The first one is Maisie Gets a Pet. It's coming out in June of 2020, so it's forthcoming. This gives you a little blurb about the book. The popularity, well, it hasn't come out yet, so that's why it's only 1 star right over here. Again, this book is for ages 0 to 8. It's fiction. And I'm going to show you a little of title Readalikes. A title Readalike is a book that is similar to the book that we're looking at by title. For instance, we were looking at a book by Lucy Cousins called Maisie Gets a Pet. The Readalikes that the novelist is suggesting are Can I Be Your Dog?, Pete the Cat and the Missing Cupcakes, and Catnip, and Can a Cat Do That?, and Hijack, things like that. And this also gives you, number one, at least the author's name and the reason why this book is similar. These books have the genre of picture books for children and have illustrations that are big and bold and cartoony and colorful. And here's another reason, number two, why this book is similar to Lucy Cousins' Maisie Gets a Pet. So those are title Readalikes. We have author Readalikes. I went back to the page over here. Author Readalikes are by a particular author. And the reason why I'm highlighting it from number one is these authors' works have this genre of picture books for children, the subject mice, and have illustrations that are big and bold. So they're similar to Lucy Cousins' book that we looked at for this reason over here and here. So you're finding similar but different books by author in this case. And then we also have something similar called series Readalikes. So we can click on Maisie Gets a Pet up here, and we're going to learn a little more about the book. This is pretty much the same information that we saw on the previous page. We have the description, the book appeal terms, which are the genre, picture books for children. The character is they are anthropomorphic. Illustrations are, as I said before, big and bold and cartoony. And we can check the library catalog. And it looks like someone is going to buy Maisie Gets a Pet. Copies are on order by Bethpage, Baldwin, and Freeport. Notice it's all in the children's room because it's a kid's book. So basically, from Novelist, you can actually find a book that's similar to the one that your child is reading, and then you can find out if it's available at the library. If it's available, you can, obviously, when the library is open, you can pick it up, or you could place it on reserve, which means it's a lot easier for you to get books that your child is interested in. So we just clicked on the Check at the Library Catalog link over here, and we have more about this book. We have author information, publisher information, the genre, which is actually what I'd like to click on. We're going to click on Picture Books for Children. And this probably will come up with many, many, many results. As a matter of fact, over 35,000 results. And in this case, that's obviously too many to look at. So we're going to sort by the date newest. And then I'm going to scroll down. We're going to limit it to the top 20. And I'm going to sort using this format instead of the grid or the compact. Let me just show you what a compact review looks like. So there's no picture really. And the brief review looks like similar but different. The one we were looking at, I believe, was the grid. Nope, it was obviously detailed. And sometimes the detailed review is a little better. In any event, you can still look at the books, and if you hover over the title, it'll kind of show you in a box on the left, pink. It gives you the author and the description, and that's for ages 0 to 8, and it's a fiction book. In any event, I just want to go back. I'm scrolling back. Much better. So this also shows you that there were 9 reviews on Goodreads for this book, the first book, The Little Engine That Could. And the second one, Bad Kitty Searching for Santa, had 24 reviews. If you click on the reviews, you can actually get rid of that little pop-up, and it takes you to Goodreads.com. Just remember, I believe Goodreads is a subsidiary of Amazon, but these are the reviews that you can look at. Take it or leave it, up to you. And we're back to picture books for children, and we're going to go back again. I just want to show you the Lucy Cousins title, because we just clicked on picture books for children. You can click on the character, in this case anthropomorphic, or illustrations, big and bold, or cartoony, or subject headings. Basically, these are different ways to slice and dice the books that you want to find that are appropriate or that your child has enjoyed, so that it's easier for you to get them and then go on your way and read them to your child. So we're under the More About This Book tab over here. I'm going to click on the List and Articles tab just to the right of it. And these materials mention or discuss this author or title, including genre. So let's look for picture books that are similar to Lucy Cousins' books. And let's sort by relevance. In other words, we're finding the books that are most similar, according to Novelist K-8 Plus, that are similar to the Lucy Cousins picture books. So let's look at this third one over here, Like the Oceans We Rise. It's forthcoming by Nicola Edwards. I hovered over the title of the picture, and a description of the author, and the author came up. I'm going to click on it, and we get similar information: the title, the author. I'm highlighting all of this so you can see it. A description, and then the genre. The persistent link I just highlighted. And then you can get more about this book, and then lists and articles. But the big thing I wanted to show you on the right is simple, Readalikes. We could find a book that is similar to Like the Oceans We Rise by Nicola Edwards. On the right, we have Readalikes, and I'm going to click on The Earth Book by Todd Parr. I'm clicking on it, and it takes us to the reviews and more about this book and lists over here about this particular book. So if School Library Journal or Publishers Weekly or Kirkus Review or Library Journal have reviewed it, the reviews will be here in many cases. And that's a great way for parents to look at students, what the books the student might be, or the child might be looking at that's interesting to them. So if you found that you wanted the Lucy Cousins book and you ended up over here because it was similar, you could look at the review by School Library Journal or Publishers Weekly. And here it is. Those are the reviews from the magazines. They are all professional library journals, so there are librarians reviewing the book. It's not just anybody. They are vetted, the people who write the reviews, and it gives you the review, and it tells you it came from Kirkus Reviews, March 1st, 2010. So that's pretty important. If a parent wants to see what the review is of a particular book that you might want to, that you're considering reading for your child, that might sway you as to either read it or not read it, or make your own decision. So I'm scrolling down a little further, and you can search for more. In other words, there are more filters for you to search. If you wanted to find books that were science books that dealt with the green movement, I can click on search. I just highlighted right over here, genre science, and then subject green movement. And I came up with 47 books. And let's continue searching by relevance, and these are the detailed reviews. Again, we have the Goodreads review under here, under the picture of the title of the book. And let's click on the second one, Green City, How One Community Survived a Tornado. So it looks like this is a nonfiction book. I clicked on the title. And this is for much older readers. It's for students ages 9 to 12. It's nonfiction. And I'm hovering over the little blue ribbon. It says that it was an award-winning book. And if we click on lists and articles, we're going to find out that it was a best STEM book in 2017 over here. And let's look at some of the reviews. These are the reviews from School Library Journal and Kirkus. Again, it's dated and it's nice, thorough review of this particular title. This up here, under the description, we get a summary of the book. Book appeal terms include narrative nonfiction for kids and teens. The tone is inspiring, it's cartoony. This gives you a Lexile score, so that's basically a way to gauge whether or not the book is an appropriate read for your student. The higher the Lexile score, the more complicated, the more sophisticated the writing in the book. And then there's also a way to evaluate the book for an accelerated reader. These are all similar but different methods of evaluating the book's complexity for a reader. We can click on more about this book. I did this in the prior review, but or title. So this gives you author information, publisher information, Dewey number, where you'd find it in the library. Since it's nonfiction, it has a number. The genre, picture books for children, narrative, nonfiction for kids and teens. The tone, illustration, location, interesting. And if you wanted to find other books with different subject headings like sustainability, just click on that, or sustainable living, or green movement, or tornado damage, or tornadoes. And this is another way down here to search for more. Again, you can search for Readalikes. Let's click on all that trash. And then you get all that trash, the story of the 1987 garbage barge and our problem with stuff. Get reviews and so on. So you're starting to get a trend here. What else can I show you? You can, at this point, at the top of the page, you could print it. You could email it. Just send it. It's from epnet.com, which is Novelist, which is an EBSCO product. You just put in your email address over here. And then any comments right here. And I'm going back. You could save it to your computer, or you could even, not sure what this did. You could remove it from a folder. We're not going to do that. So at the top left, you can click on the home button. You start at the fresh screen again. And on the left, there are two ways to narrow it down if you know what, if you're looking for a recommended reading list. These are fiction and this is nonfiction over here. And again, you can divide it up by teens, 9 to 12-year-old students, or students that are 0 to 8. So let's say we're looking for fiction for a 0 to 8-year-old that dealt with friends. We have two options. We could make best friends or making friends. Let's look on making friends. So again, these are different ways to slice and dice a book or books to find out what your child might or might not like. So these are recommended reads. We can sort by author or by title. And there's a book that is coming out in March, or did come out in March of 2020, My Best Friend by Julie Fogliano. And the summary is two girls quickly become best friends even before they learn each other's names. You click on the title, and we're going to look at that review right here. From Booklist or School Library Journal or Publishers Weekly or Kirkus. So definitely do not forget the home screen under recommended read lists. You can slice and dice it by fiction and nonfiction and by the age of the student. Also, and I'm going to probably end soon, but I definitely wanted to show you that if you scroll down, I'm in the mood for books that are, again, you can divide it up by teen, ages 9 to 12 or ages 0 to 8. And depending on the age, you'll have different subject headings over here. So for 9 to 12-year-olds, let's look for books that are moving and thoughtful. One of which is, Bear and Fred, a World War II story. Okay. And this gives you a summary over here. And then it gives you the genre, themes, characters. Don't forget on the right, you have your Readalikes. Click on one of those and you'll find other books that are similar but different. And scrolling down, if you go to the bottom of the page on the left, you can browse awards. This is a wonderful, wonderful way to find a book that you might find your student, child, whoever, interested in. So if we're looking for teens and we want to find Edgar Allan Poe awards, just click on here. And beautifully, they list it by year. This is the award winner in 2014, Ketchup Clouds by Annabelle Pitcher. And if you click on any of these titles, you'll find we'll click on the title and we'll go to the book, the review, and you get the idea. Again, it has an award-winning blue ribbon here, which shows you that we can click on lists and articles. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I post these to YouTube right after I finished recording this. And just go on to YouTube, Farmingdale Library, Farmingdale Public Library. You'll see our YouTube channel. Just click on it. You'll see this and many of the other webinars that I've done. And also now we started posting to Instagram. So you can do a search on Instagram for Farmingdale Public Library and you'll find our Instagram feed. Go to it and you'll see what we've done. It's wonderful. It's exciting. So I post these videos, webinars twice a week, usually on Tuesdays and sometimes on Friday or Saturdays. Please look for them in the upcoming weeks. And also at some point, we're probably going to archive them on the library webpage. Thanks for attending this. And if you have any questions, shoot me an email at fdelreth@nassaulibrary.org. Thanks again and have a great evening. Take care.